of kofet, of forcing, of pushing yourself. And he's going to talk about how we have to force the Yetzirah, we have to push over Yetzirah and conquer him. He says, what is the point of a creation of a man? Is in order for to overcome himself and to get reward for this, that he overcame his Yetzirah, and get Olam Haba in order to enjoy in the presence of Hashem, he says. So therefore, a person has to know Ezu Gibor, who is a mighty man, not the one who can bench 300 pounds. It is the one who can fight and conquer the Yetzirah. Because the Kadosh Baruch Hu doesn't want us to have the poor man's bread, the bread of shame. So therefore, we earn our Olam Haba by fighting the Yetzirah. So a person has to realize it. But Rabbi, he tells me, Rabbi, I have a big Yetzirah. I can't. It's so hard. I'm such a bad guy. Look how strong my Yetzirah. I have desire for this, desire for that. I don't know what's wrong with me. No, everything is right with you. You have a big Yetzirah because Hashem puts you in a big test for you to overcome this and get a bigger reward. So the bigger the tzaddik, the Gemara says, the bigger the Yetzirah. In the beginning, Yetzirah just tells you, come, let's do averot. And the guy says, okay. But once he becomes more strong in the service of Hashem, the Yetzirah will not be able to just tell him, come. He'll have to give him excuses and claims, and he has to be chacham and to try and make you do a sin. Therefore, you have to fight a bigger and stronger Yetzirah. So therefore, he says the person has to know that you serve Hashem, give honor to Hashem by conquering your Yetzirah. Lefum tzara agra. According to the suffering is the reward. He says in the Sefer Hasidim, says, mitzvah hat shitzro shadam mitgarebo to kuful ariyot dat kono v'hu kofet yitzro. He says, let's say you have a case where a person does mitzvot and he doesn't do averot, and it's very easy for him. He didn't have a desire for it really, so it's not so special that he gets reward for it, right? Because anyways, he didn't have a desire for it. He says, but then what happens when you have a mitzvah or an averah that you really desire and you really wanted to do it and you push yourself not to do it? You say, no, I can't do this the month of Elul. I am dedicated to Hashem. I need lidodi v'dodi li. I'm going to go and for the sake of Hashem not do the sin. I'm not going to go and do it as averah. So what happens? Says the Sefer Hasidim. He says, now all those times that you didn't do a sin because it was easy for you, it also counts that you beat the Yetzirah over there also. It also counts that as if you had a desire and Hashem sees it that you overcame not just one time. And Hashem looks at it as if you came hundreds of times. He says that's what it means. Why does Chazal Skazal, the place the Baal Tshuva stands, a tzaddik can't stand, is because the Yetzirah is much stronger for the Baal Avera, for the Baal Teshuvah. The one who used to do the sins, he knows what it tastes like. He knows what it's like. He's been there. He knows what he's missing out on. He has that fear of missing out, and still he goes and he does the mitzvah. We see from here that what? He is on a higher level because the tzaddik, he didn't taste the sin. He doesn't know what's out there. He doesn't know what he's missing out on. So therefore, the one who fights his Yetzirah more, he gets a more reward. In the way the Chazal say that when a person does teshuvah from fear, his averot turn into from mizid to shogeg. Mizidin turn to shogegin. The mitzvot, the averot he did on purpose, they turn into by accident. When a person does a mitzvah, he does a teshuvah from love, Hashem makes it that his averot turn into zchuyot, into mitzvot, into merits. And the question is why? It's because if you think about Teshuvah, a lot of times he said a lot of averot. He says, no, Rabbi, give me more, I have to do more, I have to go to Netz Minyan, I have to learn, I have to do as much as I can for Hashem. He feels bad that he did averot, so it's motivation for now to do more mitzvot. So what is a mitzvah? A mitzvah brings you close to Hashem. So when you did averot, right, now that he's doing teshuvah, so those averot push him to do more for Hashem, just like mitzvot do. So it ended up being that the averot made him motivated to come closer to Hashem. So all his averot now turn into mitzvot because they pushed him to come closer to Hashem. So you see, obviously, we don't want to do averot. We don't tell people to do sins on purpose and from the beginning. But now that they did it, if they do teshuvah from love, all the Gemara says, all his averot, all his sins can turn into mitzvot if he uses them as motivation to come back to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. What's a stronger rope? A rope that has many knots in it, or a regular straight rope, or a rope that was broken and they tied many pieces together. Many times when it gets cut into many pieces and you tie them again with knots, they're many together, they become stronger than the ones who is just a regular rope. So you see that a person who quote unquote ripped his connection or broke his connection to Hashem, but then he comes back and ties it again, it's actually stronger than if it was never broken before. We don't recommend to break your rope. We don't tell people to break your rope on purpose, but you should know that if you have the great opportunity to come back to Hashem, you should know your relationship with Him is going to be stronger. So now, he says that the person has to make sure that he fights his Yetzer Hara and motivates himself and reminds himself that his Yetzer Hara is only here to give him reward. And the Yetzer Hara himself, the Satan, he doesn't want you to fall. He wants you to be successful. He's doing his job. But everyone's praying for you to be successful, and therefore a person has to remember every single day, I'm here to fight my Yetzer Hara and I want to win this fight. A person has to pray to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, they should be able to conquer. Baruch Hu.